questions, and I will defer to Senator Tuberville to go first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. I'm passionate about this. I spent 50 years in education, more than anybody in this room, probably, maybe other than Dr. Brown, although you spent a little time in the military. I've been in high schools all across this country, almost in all 50 states. We've gone backwards. Here we're today talking about higher education, and I spent 30 years in that and done a lot of great things for a lot of kids, men and women, rich and poor. It's got to be merit-based, folks. If we don't merit-base this thing, we will not survive as an educational system. This country gives you an opportunity. I was in a situation where athletics was merit-based. I didn't care who you were. I had to win games. I recruited kids that had good grades, would go to class, and could play football. And if they couldn't do those three things and work at it, I didn't recruit them. It's got to be the same thing in college in terms of getting a good education. I know of a school that has a happiness degree. That ain't gonna get it. I'm for paying everybody's way to college, but not for a degree where when they get out, they can't get a job at Walmart. We need degrees that kids can prosper, then raise a family, and have a great life in this country. So, I'd like to ask each one of you just one question, starting over with Dr. Gillen. Dr. Gillen, what factors do you see that have caused massive skyrocketing costs at our universities across the country?
So I would argue that the main driver of higher college costs is what's called the Bowen revenue theory of cost. And so when you look at higher education, it's the Bowen revenue theory of cost. And so the idea here is that it's not that you know, higher faculty salaries or increases in institutional aid are driving higher spending. It's that when more revenue is available, colleges will spend as much as they can. And it makes sense. These are all mission-driven institutions, right? Like if you give each of these schools $1 million more, they'll find a good way to spend it. The problem is if you keep doing that, eventually those good ways to spend it aren't so convincing anymore. But when we have these mission-driven institutions, the more money they have, the more money they're gonna spend.
Dr. Lindsay.
I think the opportunity that's before us is, as you say, to bring accountability and outcomes. And I think we have to be very intentional about the kind of formation that's occurring on our campuses. I'm really proud of the fact we have something called the Good Work Initiative, which is basically trying to transform on-campus employment opportunities where students are paid a little bit more than minimum wage to give them a little bit more spending money, but we also pair it with professional development and vocational discernment exercises to help them so that when they graduate, they actually have that kind of professional experience. It's a pilot. We've had good success with it. We're allowing the opportunity for more students to take on more leadership roles, giving them good things for their resumes, but also buttressing their opportunities when they graduate.
Dr. Brown.
Senator, I'll use a real example. I went to my Board of Trustees this upcoming year and said I would like to freeze tuition for 2 years at our school. They approved the freezing of the tuition. But when I looked at the cost of insurance, which is a subcomponent of that tuition, we had to go up. So the real cost to the customer, the family, was more. The same is true of the cost of dining, the cost of food that goes into a dining hall contract, and the cost of the utilities that it takes to run the campus. So my campus is much like any other business. Those costs we would not be able to absorb. And so our costs went up because cost in the economy went up. It was not that we would spend more because we had more. Those costs were real, and we had to realize those as a school operates just like a business in that sense.
Dr. Hart.
Thank you for the question. I would say in the community college sector, there hasn't been a massive skyrocket rising of prices. At Austin Community College, we haven't raised tuition in 12 years. I think we've raised it once in 15. We're the sector of higher education that lives within our means because our students are so price sensitive. And I think there could be a lot to learn from how community colleges effectively manage their budgets.
I agree with you on that. Been in a lot of community colleges. You do a good job, by the way. And I think more kids need to go to community colleges. Mr. Pierce?
I think it's my turn to talk about for-profit colleges, which seems to be missing from my colleagues' responses to your question. We have watched the proprietary sector raise costs far in excess of other sectors of the higher education system. And we've also watched some of the largest participants in the for-profit college market turn into private nonprofit colleges or enter into deals with public colleges. So I think we're not in a place where we were a decade ago talking about the proprietary sector. We should be looking at the backroom deals that some of the largest colleges in the country are cutting with these private companies and how these deals are driving the increase in costs that are being pushed on our most vulnerable students.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.